All right. Welcome to the last video. This is part 4, and it is just basically a bonus ideas kind of a section. The videos before this should have given you enough information to go out there and start booking some gigs. This bonus ideas one here is it's not necessarily going to apply across the board, for every genre or for the type of music that you play. But I wanted to throw them out there because it really opened a lot of doors for me, or some of these ideas really kind of helped out a lot, especially when I was starting out. So I figured I'd throw them out there, and if you can use them, great. If not, well, that's fine too. So let's start. So first one here, open jams. You got to go to open jams, especially when you're just starting out. A lot of reasons why. For instance, I would go to them. I would look for them in every city that was within a reasonable drive of my house, and it worked great. I would get offers from maybe the organizers of the open jam sometime would offer me a gig or an opening slot somewhere. I've had a couple venues actually asking me if I wanted to come back and play a set just by myself because they liked what I did. The other thing is you meet like a ton of other musicians, and you can network with them, kind of see where they're playing, see what they're up to, and you're going to find more ideas for for where you can play. You can it'll also help you kind of get an idea of what you can get paid. So maybe you don't even want to call a venue if they're not going to pay anything, or you got to pay to play there. I don't know. It's just great networking place, or a great place to network, I should say. One cool story about like when I heard another musician, I wasn't necessarily networking with him, and but he was just really, really bragging about how he would go and get like, I don't know, it's like would play 4 shows in a row up at this, a couple hours away, but he wouldn't tell anybody where it was, but he's bragging about it and how much money he was getting, all that stuff. Well, that turned out to be a pretty lucrative gig because I just went online, looked him up, and figured it out, called the booking guy, and boom. I had a 2 times or a twice yearly, every 6 months I would go to this place, and I had a whole weekend worth of shows, and it paid really well. So like I said, you just never know what you're going to hear. You never know what you're going to find out. So open jams, a lot of reasons to go to them. The next one here, not much of a tactic, but it's just more of a just make yourself available. When you do talk to all these venues, let them know that you're available, because I've had it when I had my band, we actually had a great gig offer, and it was only because I made myself available. I let them know what we needed. The venue owner, or the booking agent, was familiar with me. The guy, he wasn't like a booking agent, like he just booked, artists, but he was just more of the person that worked at the bar and did all the booking for that particular venue. He knew that if he gave us a call that we could probably fill in, and it worked out great because it ended up translating into an opening slot for a decent size, regional band, and it was the club was about a 800 to 1,000 capacity, so it was a really fun show. But yeah, just let everybody know, even when you talk to them, if you don't get a gig, for instance, just let them know, hey, if you ever have a cancellation, feel free to give me a call. Just make yourself available. Tell other artists. I've had other artists where one time I was playing basketball and I screwed up my pinky really bad, so that pretty much took a lot of chords out of my repertoire. And I had another artist that made himself available. He was able to come in and play guitar. I could still sing, and he could play guitar. So just let everybody know, man. Just be flexible. That's just one way to end up getting more gigs. C, this one could go either way, but one thing that I did is I would approach certain bars and cafes and different clubs. One example is like they didn't necessarily have live music there, and I just approached them because I knew that they would have DJs there, or karaoke. So I'm like, you know what? They're booking entertainment. It's not live music, but it's entertainment. So I'm like, you know what the hell? So I called them up and I just asked them, if they'd be open to doing some live music. And then I asked them what they were paying karaoke and DJs and all that kind of thing. So what ended up happening is like they would tell me how much they'd pay. They'd be like, oh, $300. I'd be like, all right, well, I'll do it for $250. And then it became a no-brainer. It's like a little bit of a risk because sometimes you go into these places and people are like, what? Live music? What's this all about? But in 2 instances, it ended up being like a really cool thing. And I ended up getting a lot of gigs. And I played there for multiple years and had some really good gigs just by doing this. So you just never know. If they have any entertainment whatsoever, it might not hurt to call. And it could be tricky though too, because I've had plenty of places where I thought maybe we could do it, we could play there, and we did, and it sucked, to put it bluntly. Or people didn't show up, or it just wasn't a very good fit at all. So I had a couple stinkers in there, but I've definitely had some really good ones that ended up being regular gigs. So and fun gigs too. So. Because sometimes you'll go into a bar and they're like, wow, what's this live music? Like people that don't necessarily watch live music, now all of a sudden they're seeing it and they like it. So that's just one good thing about, or another angle you could take. Here's one. D, this is not necessarily an idea to get more gigs, but if you really focus on promoting the hell out of your show, just do whatever you can, hang posters, call people, run ads if you can. Do whatever you can, because if you fill the seats, you're going to get to come back to that venue. That venue will be more than open to having you back. I've had multiple occasions where we did really well, and I know it was because I promoted a lot, and people would... like right after the gig was over, the owner or the booking guy or the manager, they would just be right over to us like, hey, we got to get you on the schedule again. You hit them right after you get done. But it was because a lot of times it was because I promoted the hell out of the show and they recognize that. They like that. Even if you're not even like, you might even get the benefit of the doubt, even if you're not that great of an act. But if you can pull people in and advertise their business and show that you mean business, you can definitely go a long way with that and get more gigs that way. And E, this last one here, pretty much is kind of the same thing as promoting the hell out of your show. But mainly just really utilize social media. And when you're doing that, like say, for instance, on Facebook events and even on Twitter, always tag somebody else. I think you can do it on Instagram too. If you tag the venue, because a lot of times what will happen is the venue will like reshare it, or they'll thank you, and then you'll get a little bit of a viral little boost out of it. And if you got other artists on the bill, like you are opening for somebody, tag them, promote the hell out of them, because they'll, sometimes they don't do much to promote themselves, but if you do it, it might also encourage them to send something out about it. And I don't know, it's just always good to always be thinking about promotions, because I've never heard of promotions going bad, right? If you get 1 or 2 more people, or you get 10 more people, whatever, you're getting more people to the show, and that really is the bottom line. I know one of my guitar players one time, and I'm going to finish with this story, but one of my guitar players in my band, we had a young bass player who ended up going off to, I don't know, I don't think it was Berkeley. It was the other one in Boston. I forget, the Conservatory for the Arts, maybe. I don't know. But he played with us for like a summer, and he was in high school, and we were sneaking him into gigs so that he could play with. And great bass player. But it was just funny because our guitar player one time, he had a hard time. Like, he loved to improvise. He's just dancing all over the place, and he was kind of making the drummer kind of edgy. Like, man, like, you gotta just, we're not putting on a solo clinic here for bass, So we had to get it through to him, and our guitar player just said to him, he goes, hey man, he goes, just play the song, just keep it simple, keep it in the groove. That's all you got to do, because you know what? Really all we are is beer salesmen. And you know what? That is pretty much what we are. And if you start from that philosophy, it only gets better from there, honestly. I mean, because that's what you are. If you're at a coffee shop, you're selling coffee, and you're just getting people in there so that they can buy coffee. You're getting people into the bar so they can buy liquor. You're getting whatever. I mean, there's something else going on, and that's where it starts. They're not sure you're gonna have people that are gonna be there to see you, but really the reason you're playing there is because the owner or the manager, they just want people in the seats buying stuff. So think about that and start from that mindset, and you're gonna remain humble, and you're gonna go and be good to work with. So there you go. Thanks for checking out this course, and if you have any questions, certainly shoot them my way. I'll see if I can answer them, but I think this is a pretty good overview of just kind of getting the ball rolling if you want to start booking some gigs. Talk to you later.